welcome to the second episode of the Control Pad Blues Nostalgicast. I'm Andre.
And I'm Jordan.
And today we're actually going to play 3 games in this one video. Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., and Donkey Kong 3. Donkey Kong is obviously a franchise that's pretty important in terms of video game history. Arguably, if it wasn't for Donkey Kong, we wouldn't be playing games today. They wouldn't have exploded the way they did in the early to mid 80s. It brought Nintendo into the limelight. It changed the way people looked at games. It changed the way games were made. It introduced Mario, and the rest was pretty much gaming history. So, that being said, for fear of me blabbing on too long about the game, let's play, shall we?
Sure.
Alright, so let's play.
So we're doing game A or game B?
Let's just do game A. I was having a rough enough time with game A.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Last game was pretty much on game B to begin with.
Yeah, it was. Squeaky Shoes.
I had the old, I don't know what company made them, but it was like a mini arcade cabinet of this game.
I remember.
And it was all LCD, but it was multicolored LCD, which I still don't know really how they did it.
Maybe it was Tyco or something.
I don't know. I loved it.
There were a few of those games.
Yeah. I could never get past the first level, but I loved it.
Well, you're on, Jordan.
All right.
One thing about...
Sorry, I can't remember. Does touching the oil kill you? Oh, no, it doesn't. That doesn't. Okay, all right. Your turn now.
Yep, okay, cool. One thing about Donkey Kong that I remember, it's actually one of the first... I'm not sure if it's the first game or the second game I ever rented after owning the NES. It was either Simon's Quest or Donkey Kong Classics. I can't remember which one was first. Mm-hmm. In any case, I have this vivid memory of sitting at the co-op in the...
Nice, we're on a roll here.
We're doing really well. We're doing really good. I was sitting in the shopping cart at co-op in the frozen foods aisle, and I was staring at the box art. It was just, the plastic, it was the cartridge.
Mm.
And it was just so vividly orange that I was just mesmerized by it, and I was just staring at it, and...
I'm pretty sure that's Donkey Kong 2. Or, Junior. There was no Donkey Kong 2.
Well, no, it was the Donkey Kong Classics box art.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And, that was the first time that I had played the game, was on Donkey Kong Classics, not the original. I just kind of blamed the original orange box.
Not the same.
Yeah, no, not the same at all. And, so just I remember sitting there in that shopping cart and just kind of, my mom was probably putting, chicken fingers and fries in the shopping cart, and I was staring at the game. Just couldn't wait to get home and play a new game.
Mesmerized by a color.
Oh, yeah. When you guys went grocery shopping, did you, you obviously would have sat in the cart?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, either the top or the bottom, it didn't really matter to me.
Yeah, the bottom, okay. You say you sat in the bottom. Do you mean
well, it was either
underneath?
me or a sack of potatoes, so really it's,
Yeah.
If potatoes weren't being bought, it was me sitting at the bottom of the cart.
Exactly. Okay. Now, I go grocery shopping now, and I see that space down below, and I'm like, there's no way I fit down there. There's no way that I was able to sit down in that spot, but I don't know.
Kids were small back then, man.
Either that or shopping carts were bigger.
That's also another possibility.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that always happens. I'm, consistently freaked out.
You're still alive. All right. But, I used to lay down in that, the sack of potatoes area, and I would stare up at the groceries.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Okay, no, it kind of gave me a whole new perspective on stuff.
This stuff costs money. I don't have any money.
And my mom would always give me snacks. Like, if she was buying, Ring-A-Lows or something, she would give me, I don't know, Ring-A-Lows or... Anyways, the snack I remember the most, and this might be testing your memory a little bit.
Okay.
They weren't fruit roll-ups. They were... They were chocolate pudding based.
Okay.
And they rolled up. Do you remember those at all?
I do not remember those at all.
No. Well, that's fine, because they weren't very memorable anyways.
That's okay. I didn't really like them to begin with.
Yeah, But I just vividly remember trying those in the shopping cart that day. that we rented Donkey Kong Classics. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of let you play a little bit
Oh,
more.
that's cool.
I have one more memory.
All right.
My mom worked, and she still works at a library at Ecole Sainte Anne in Fredericton. And oh, okay, he's just gonna hang
good.
there,
I'm
isn't
good.
he?
Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, she currently works, and she worked at a library at Ecole Sainte Anne. And whenever I was done classes, I'd just walk over to the library and wait for her to get done work, and we'd drive home. Well, one day I was reading the books at the library, and there was this book about electronics, or I think it was video games in general. And there was a segment on Donkey Kong, and in the segment about Donkey Kong, there was a picture of a Donkey Kong level I had never seen before, and it was apparently called the Pie Factory.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that's cut out of this version, right?
Yeah, it was cut out of this version. I had never seen it before in my life. At this point in my video game knowledge, I had no idea if you would be able to actually access this level in the NES version, but I definitely kept trying. I definitely tried. I think that if you beat Donkey Kong, you know, with a certain amount of points on the screen...
Yeah, and if you say your name backwards 3 times, it'll work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's the extent of my memories. It's not exactly, you know, anything earth-shattering, but...
The extent of my memory, and I'm going to purposely die here so you can play, and I'll just talk about stuff. Oh, wow, it's not even lit. You just jump up and you die.
Yeah.
Speaking about his dying thing, when I was a little kid and I first saw that, for some reason, him lying on his back didn't make any visual sense to me.
With his feet up in the air?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean, I clearly see it now, and he's got the halo around his head and all that stuff. But it always looked like he ended up with his shirt over his face and his pants pulled down. That's what it looked like to me. I don't understand how I
let me at least
made
beat
that
this
weird
level here.
broken connection in my head, but that's what it looked like.
I'll at least beat this level before we move on to Donkey Kong Jr. Alright, so Donkey Kong Jr. I don't have quite as many memories from this one.
Same here.
But yeah, they mostly go back to the same thing I just talked about. And I actually enjoyed, gameplay-wise, I enjoyed this much more than the first one.
Oh, totally. This is way better than the first one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's kind of odd because it's like, you know, oh my god, Mario's the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. That was quite the mind job when I was little. I always found that even though you played as Donkey, the game's name was Donkey Kong Jr., I always felt like I played the bad guy because I had played Super Mario Brothers first, and then this. So Mario was always the good guy, and holy moly, the sound in this level is awful.
Yeah.
So
he's got this unlimited supply of, I don't know, mechanical animals.
Bird things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're dropping... they look like cracked eggs. Ooh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's close.
It's always good when it elicits a grunt from you.
Oh.
My one main memory of this game would be I was probably 7 or 8 years old. My sister, a younger sister, she's 2 years younger than I am. She was in the hospital for something. I think it may have been a bladder infection. I'm not really sure. Anyway, we went out to supper. It was really storming quite badly that night. And I'd get picked up from school, and my parents went out to get some groceries and things like that. They wanted to pick up some things for my sister, who was actually in the hospital with this infection overnight. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she was really sad and lonely and, you know, kind of upset that she was away from everybody and, you know, obviously in a hospital all night. Who wants to be there?
Right.
And, but before my parents went to the hospital to see her, and they brought me along, they stopped at a video store, and I rented this. Mm-hmm. Never played it before. I was really super excited to see, you know, how it was and everything like that. So we're in the hospital. I brought the game in for whatever reason. I don't know.
To look at it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Just to look.
Yeah. So my parents are, you know, asking my sister how she's doing, and, you know, she's crying. She wants to go home and all this stuff, and they're trying to, you know, make her feel better. The whole time, I can't wait to leave. I'm just like, I want to go play Donkey Kong Jr., come on. And I think at one point I even mentioned how much I wanted to go home just to play it. and I got in so much trouble for that. Understandably, I was being a little jerk.
Yeah.
But
That's all right.
it just didn't occur to me that, my sister was in the hospital. She's not just sick in bed, she's in the hospital.
Yep.
And all I want to do is go home and screw around with this game, which it's not even that good.
No, it's not. But when you're a kid, I don't know.
But I mean, that's irrelevant. Even if it was good, it's still being a jerk kid.
It's all right. And Mario and his jump rope fall to the ground, and then the jump rope turns into a halo. That's what I saw it. It wasn't a whip to me as a kid. It was a jump rope. All right, so this is obviously probably the most forgettable Donkey Kong game of all time.
I would say so. Well, Donkey Kong Jr. Math, that's pretty forgettable.
Yeah, well, at least it's memorable for being bad.
I suppose.
Right?
I suppose. This one was always one that was down at the corner store by my place.
Oh my God.
I find it weird that that's not Mario, but then again, I think of all the movie trilogies that didn't have the main actors in the third one.
Oh no.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. See, Stanley the Bugman is a character that you just don't care about very much for, and if you die, you're just like, oh well. All right, do you know how to play? All right. See, I always found Stanley the Bugman to be a bit of a jerk because Donkey Kong had been through a lot. He'd been the bad guy.
That's true.
And then he'd been kidnapped. Right. Obviously by Mario.
Yeah. And then this guy shows up and just starts spraying him in the junk with DDT or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm doing awful. I'm doing awful. Oh. Can I not? Oh, I can jump down, right? I forgot about that part. Oh, they're shooting stuff at me. So the memory that I have related to Donkey Kong 3 actually, wow, this is not good. It pertains to a corner store that's just a little ways down the road from where I grew up in New Maryland, at Scholten's. It's called Scholten's Convenience. And essentially Scholten's is where I rented Donkey Kong 3 for the first time. Scholten's had a little VCR cardboard cutout. Good job. Excellent work. Thank you. Better than... I think that's the best we're going to do. Yeah, they had a little VCR cutout. It was like a VCR with eyeballs, a nose, and a mouth, and arms and legs.
Weirdest thing.
Yep, and it was like, it was something about, return your DVD, or not your DVDs, but return your VHS tapes at any time. We have a slot, just drop them in the slot.
Oh, so like it eats them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it was kind of one of those things, just you can bring your movies back at any time. Very convenient. So, I don't know, it was the dawn of DVDs and VHS tapes had gone away a long time, and finally they got rid of that VCR, the little animated VCR thing. But if you drive by Scholten's today, the VCR is gone. Right. But the pieces of Scotch tape that held the VCR, the little VCR cardboard cutout thing, are still there.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird that they wouldn't just clean that up.
No.
I thought you were going to say like the googly eyes were still there or something.
No, the Scotch tape and the backer board that the little VCR dude was on. Well, I'll try to get a picture of it, although I'm sure people taking random pictures in front of their storefront might be a little sketchy, but yeah, you'll see the Scotch tape is still there, and it's still dingy and dirty and nasty. It's weird. Wow. Yep. It's like 30-year-old Scotch tape.
My main memory of this game is it being the default kind of backup rental from the store that was near my place. It'd be like, oh, can't find anything else that I want? Might as well rent Donkey Kong 3. I hate this game. I really don't like it.
No, it's not fun. It's one of those games that you just accumulate points, very similar to one of those like Galaga or Galaxian shooters.
Yeah, except not
fun. Yeah, well, I never found those shooters to be much fun.
Well, there's more enjoyment to them than this.
Yeah, well, I suppose. But yeah, it's just you accumulate points. Not that there's much of a story in Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., but there's even less of a story in this, right? Right. So you care even less about Stanley the Bugman. You just kind of, if you die, you're like, yep, all right, well, I'm turning off the Nintendo now.
Yeah. I think I'll go outside.
Yeah, I think I'll actually go outside and do stuff.
Yeah.